$300,000. That is how much this kid and probably your kids are going to cost you over the course of their lives. One of the things that we're going to talk about today is how you can actually save money and still build wealth as a new or second or third or fourth parent. To help with that, I have a few lovely guests. My lovely business partner, Lindsay, and also my lovely wife, Kaylee. Wow, you're so tall.
This is weird.
Welcome to another DIY Wealth video. Like, comment, subscribe. Anybody who's going to be watching this video not only is thinking about making more money, but they're also thinking about saving money.
You know, the second that you type into Google, when is my due date? All of a sudden, you are on so many companies' radar as like a soon-to-be mother who is entering a period in her life. There's a word for it, it's called nesting. And our brains go into this mode of where we just want to prepare the house and prepare the life and prepare everything to receive this child. Companies know this. I don't even know how formula started just showing up at my doorstep. I didn't sign up for anything. Has that happened to you guys?
When I was still pregnant with our first, I went to the mailroom, I had a package coming, and all of a sudden, sitting there with that package was like 2 cans of formula wrapped in a box with my name on it, and I was really confused.
And I'm not gonna say don't go out and buy new things for your kid. As a mother, I know personally the instinct to nest and to prepare your area and your home, it's very strong, and I don't think we should be telling moms don't do these things, don't follow your instincts. But I think it is important to just say, like, be aware of this marketing machine. It exists. Everything that you're being marketed to, you don't necessarily need, you might not even want. Just be aware that you're being heavily marketed to, and don't think that you need everything.
You're gonna spend like $5, $10, $20 on like a rattle for your newborn. Our first kid didn't play with any of it. You know what she liked? A drawer full of keys. You can get pretty far with very little, especially for that first 18 months of life.
Our first daughter was entertained by a paper bag for a solid 15 minutes. Even to this day, she will be satisfied with a cup and crayons.
We're getting into our second bit of advice, which is accept hand-me-downs. It's kind of difficult. You're like, this is my child. They should have new things, not, used things, hand-me-downs. We have friends with older boys, and they hand down all the clothes, and it has been wonderful not having to spend money on clothes because they go so fast.
If you've had one kid and you know you want to have another, maybe choose more gender neutral or something that you can use again. We didn't buy any clothes for our second born except one outfit that I got for Christmas, and that was it. Buy with the intent of what you plan to do. And there was one purchase that we made that I realized we didn't do that, and that was the one big regret that I had.
What was the big purchase that you regretted?
I know what it is.
What is it?
The stroller. You needed a double stroller.
This is something I'll say on DIYwealth.com pretty often, which is if you buy cheap, you're probably going to buy twice. Strollers, you're going to buy expensive, and if you're going to have another kid, you're going to buy expensive again. One of the things that you might want to consider doing is getting one of those cool, hyper-techy modular strollers that allow you to not only have a stroller for one baby, but also you can pull stuff out, have it be a bassinet stroller, and then a stroller, and then a 2-baby stroller. If you go in and invest in that when you have your first baby, you are going to end up, have something that if you don't end up having kids, still has high resale value. And 2, will set you up so that you don't have to worry about spending the money again. If you're going to make a large purchase, in all likelihood, you can find at least some aspects of that purchase that you can buy secondhand. Also, around, holidays, of which there are many, you'll always be able to find good deals on a lot of these expensive purchases, like a stroller, like a convertible crib to toddler bed. Those are expenses that it makes sense to spend a little bit extra up front because they are going to make your life easier down the road when you are in a much worse position mentally and physically to be able to make those kinds of decisions. There are moms Discord groups, for example, that you can participate in and be a part in and share notes and also share coupons and deals, things with each other. All of these things not only are going to save you thousands of dollars, thousands upon thousands of dollars, they're also going to give you a source of emotional support that is lacking when you are pregnant and when you have just given birth. As a mother about to give birth, or as somebody who's just given birth, you are going to be tempted to make a lot of impulse purchases. Lindsay, can you speak to that?
I actually saw a piece of research the other day, I think it was online. In the first few months after a baby's born, a rational part of the mother's brain actually shuts off. And all of that is routed to the emotional side. And that is what enables mothers to go through the bonding process and the nurturing process with the child. So like literally our rational brains shuts down and we are just largely emotional beings. Be aware of it. Maybe have a conversation before you make those emotional purchases, especially if they're big ones.
Things that I notice in the marketing world for parents is that products are pushed in your face, so easily accessible to see. But events, outings, and places to take your kids, that isn't. A lot of the free events that we could take our kids to, it's hard to know that they exist unless you're actually dialed into the community. And so through that, you can find locations that you've never heard about before. And it was only because I was dialed into the moms Facebook groups and reaching out that I was able to find these really cool places that we didn't have to spend anything and have these really amazing experiences with our children. I feel like wealth in parenting, it isn't just the money that you're saving, it's also the emotional bonds that you're building.
So we've been talking a lot about things that you can do to save money, alternative ways of building wealth in terms of experiences or fulfillment. Lindsay, in particular, has a unique strategy. This is more about like what to do vis-a-vis, 529 plans and money and passing money along to your children and passing wealth along.
Shortly after I was born, my father set up a whole life insurance policy for me. And then he told me about it, and I didn't find out about it until adulthood when he was basically like, hey, I opened this whole life insurance policy for you, and there's this much money in it. As you have kids and you accumulate wealth, you start to be conscious of like, well, what happens to my family if something were to happen to me? It was such a reassurance for me to know that so many years ago, my father had set up this whole life insurance policy for me, and it has so much death benefit to it. But not only that, whole life insurance policies have incredible living benefits. I can call up the whole life insurance company anytime I want. I can take a loan out on my own money. The insurance company will give me a loan, and I can make a down payment on a new home. I can pay for college expenses. I can pay for whatever I want. I don't have to report what I'm using the money for. And then I pay off the life insurance company. But what's amazing is that because it was the life insurance company that gave me the loan, the money never left my, let's call it my insurance bank account. So that money has continued to compound and compound and compound and compound since I was 1 year old. It's been amazing how much wealth it has created within this policy. And when I pass away, that death benefit will go to my children, and I don't have to think about it. Sean and I are writing an extensive book for DIYwealth for it, which you can access at DIYwealth.com. If you want to go sign up, you can follow along as we produce this research.
So that was a video.
Parenting. First time filming. Hold on.
I know it's nerve-wracking, isn't it?
I'm like, oh my god! All right, I can do this. Hold on.